said was a $1,500 fine, probated, 4 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person.
This one's a roller coaster. We've got State versus Jamal Fiser, a 2024 deferred adjudication now hanging by a thread after a blow-up on a probation video call. The state says he violated condition number 4, basically, act right on supervision. And today's hearing could flip that deferred into a full adjudication of guilt. Maximum stakes? Up to 10 years and $10,000 on the table if the judge revokes. But wait, there's a twist. Mental health and dual diagnosis treatment, DDRF, are already in play, and the defense is saying confusion and delay lit the fuse. Is this a meltdown or a messed up process? Stay with me, because in this room, one word, true, can change a life. Engagement hook. Who do you think set this fire? Jamal's temper or the system's miscommunication?
Fisher? And are we all ready to proceed?
We are, Judge.
Court is calling 2024 CR 011671, State versus Jamal Fisher. Can I have parties announced?
Ashley Jones for the state.
Megan Enriquez for Jamal Fisher.
And are you Mr. Fisher? To review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney, did you understand it? Are you the same Jamal Fisher who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2024 CR 011671 for the offense of injury to a child, elderly, or disabled person with intentional bodily injury on January 27, 2025 for a period of 4 years? Is that you? Yeah. All right, state.
Here's the legal x-ray. Jamal is on deferred adjudication for injury to a child, elderly, disabled person. Serious charge, but deferred means no conviction yet if he follows the rules. The state now alleges a condition number 4 violation on Feb 28, 2025, failing to conduct himself properly during a remote check-in. When the judge asks true or not true, and the defense signals true to that one violation, it's strategic. Concede a narrower allegation while the state waives the rest. But that true opens the door for the judge to find the violation, revoke, and sentence up to the statutory max. That's why the bench carefully warns Jamal about the 10-year exposure and $10,000 fine. This is not a traffic ticket moment. Question to viewers. Would you admit a single violation to make the rest disappear or fight every inch and risk it all?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is going to proceed on violation of condition number 4. On or about the 28th day of February 2025 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jamal Fisher, did then and there fail to conduct himself in a proper and orderly manner during an inmate video conference meeting with the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department Supervision Officer in violation of condition number 4.
Do you plead to that true or not true? Please.
And the state will waive the remaining violation.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine? No. Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there proposed agreement?
There is not, Your Honor.
All right. State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, at this time, the recommendation from probation is amend for DDRF. I do believe that the defendant has undergone a mental health and a substance abuse evaluation, both recommended DDRF, and at that time, that is the state's recommendation as well.
Thanks.
Defense paints a picture. Jamal expected quick release after pleading to deferred, but sat in custody for multiple evaluations, TAP, mental health, even a drug court screen. Then, during a video meeting where the camera allegedly wasn't on, he hears about new conditions and a DDRF recommendation. He says, "I'm not a drug user," questions why dual diagnosis fits, and, key fact, admits to profanity born out of frustration, especially when told about a 6 to 8 month wait for a DDRF bed. Legally, courts can modify probation conditions, especially when mental health needs were part of the original calculus. But communication matters. If you're asked to sign new conditions, the smart move is ask to go back before the judge, not explode on Zoom. That split-second choice triggered today's showdown. Poll the comments. Was this a human reaction to a broken process, or a self-inflicted wound that proves probation's point?
Yes, Your Honor, and that was the basis for his outburst with the probation officer. He does deny some of the things that he's alleged to have said, but he does ultimately agree that he did use profanity that was inappropriate. That's why he did decide to plead true. I believe what happened is that at the very beginning, when he pled for deferred, he was misinformed. He believed that he would be getting out. He says he signed for probation because he thought he would get out that day or the next day. but instead he was held in custody, explained that that's routine and normal and that that happens all the time. And so he waited in custody for 3 different evaluations. I believe the TAP, the mental health evaluation, and what was the other evaluation? Oh, okay. Oh, a drug court evaluation. And so he waited in custody for those, and ultimately the mental health evaluation recommended DDRF. So when the probation officer came to meet with him, he says that the video wasn't on, he could hear him, and he was explaining to him that there were going to be new conditions, but he didn't have new conditions in front of him. He, in his mind, didn't feel that DDRF was appropriate for him. He says he doesn't have a drug problem, and since it's dual diagnosis, he doesn't believe his issue is drugs and that he's not a drug user, and that he was just trying to explain that to his probation officer, albeit with profanities, because he was upset that the probation officer explained to him that there was a long wait, and that upset him. And so that was what got us here today, was that interaction with the probation officer. But leading up to that, he was further upset, and he wants to explain it to you in his words as well, but this is kind of a synopsis of what he's told me.
The judge gives a masterclass on probation logic. On sentencing day, the court explicitly ordered a path. Try felony drug court, dual diagnosis, first, because the wait is shorter. If not accepted, DDRF remains the backup, all aimed at stabilizing mental health the court believes needs treatment. Translation. This wasn't sprung on him. It was baked into the deal. Then comes the hammer. 2 choices only. Sign for DDRF today, or get revoked and do 3 years in prison. That's a sharp but lawful boundary. Judges balance accountability with rehabilitation. Also note the tone. Everyone's trying to have a decent day. Treat people with kindness. In a revocation world, attitude plus compliance can be the difference between treatment and time. The judge is crystal. If you're confused, come back to court. Don't torch the bridge on Zoom.
Well, let me explain something,
Sure.
sir. I go over conditions with people in great detail. I go over conditions of probation with people in great detail. And I always ask people if they understand what they're being ordered to do. And if they don't understand, I explain it to them. So what I can tell you, when I place you on probation, what I said was a $1,500 fine probated, 4 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, 100 hours of community service restitution. That was to be waived once he completed anger management, affirmative finding of family violence, no contact with the complainant, and Madam Circle, which was an address, referral to felony drug court for their dual diagnosis program, a mixed evaluation, and DDRF. That's what I ordered. And so what I said was, we're going to try felony drug court with their dual diagnosis because it doesn't take them as long as DDRF. But the court did order you to go to DDRF, or at least be evaluated for DDRF if felony drug court doesn't accept you. And the reason why I ordered that was based upon the evidence that was presented to the court on the day of sentencing, that there are some mental health issues. Now, if I send you out into the world and I do not give you help from your mental health issues, you know what's going to end up happening? You're going to end up back here and you're going to say, well, judge, your attorney will say, judge, he needed mental health treatment and you didn't even try to give it to them. That would be my fault. That's on me, right? But when I give you things that you need to be successful on probation, you have to sign for those. And let me explain to you, everybody has a right to their feelings, to be angry, to be upset. But at the end of the day, guess what? Everybody's just trying to do their job and they're hoping that they will have a nice day at work. Some people, it's like, gosh, I was supposed to be retired, or I really didn't want to do this as my career. Now I got to suck it up and just continue to do it. And I really don't like it. It's not my passion. Some people, it's, I was only supposed to be here for 1 year. Then I was going to trade school or going to college and do something else with my life. So everybody is just trying to have a pleasant day. And if everyone would treat everybody with kindness, it would really go a long way, because everybody's just trying to do their job. Amen. So what I'm telling you is, I have ordered DDRF. You're going to have to sign for DDRF. If you don't want to sign for DDRF, then what I will do, I will revoke you and I will sentence you to 3 years in the prison. So you have two choices. And these are the only choices you have. Don't come to me with a third choice. Two choices, sign for DDRF or 3 years.
Can I just share? Ma'am, I never once had an issue with DDRF, and I know what you recommended. I never saw DDRF, as I was explaining to my lawyer. When my probation officer met with me on that Zoom call on the 28th, that was the first time I'd ever got actually a chance to meet him. I tried calling him, my mom and dad had tried calling him, my previous attorney tried calling him just to say hi. I'd never even heard of it.
But you know what the appropriate response is?
Ma'am.
If somebody wants you to sign a contract, at least in this realm, in the 187, you need to say, well, I'm confused, sir, because I don't believe the judge ordered DDRF for me. I would like to go back to court. And then that would have been the end of it. Everybody would have been like, okay, and you would have came to court and you know what I would have done? I would have said, Mr. Fisher, I ordered first felony drug court because it's a short wait time. And then if not accepted by felony drug court, DDRF. And then that would have been done. I always tell people, don't get upset because things are not going your way. If you are confused about something in this court, you can always come back to the court and say, Judge, they want me to sign up for DDRF. It's my understanding I'm not supposed to sign up for DDRF.
I think, man, that my problem wasn't with the recommendation. And if he had said that, I would have been like, okay, well, this is my thing. You gave me, I thought it was a blessing, still think it's a blessing to be on probation. I don't care, DDRF, whatever it is. If you're asking me that, you're the judge, so I'm not gonna say no. When the probation officer, all he said, his exact words, I was like, she wants to go to DDRF, and I didn't know if he meant said she was talking you or someone from the evaluations. All I asked was, what's DDRF? And his exact words were, you're going to have to wait a minimum 6 to 8 months to get a bed, and then it's a 4-month court. That's when I lost my cool. Then even after that, he didn't say these are conditions of your probation or explain what DDRF was. I was never upset about the recommendation. I didn't even know DDRF was a thing. The only reason I reacted the way I did was he said, you're going to have to wait 6 to 8 months for bed. And I didn't know what that was for. I'm not going to say no.
So here's the thing. So if you want DDRF as opposed to the prison term, all right. So I'm going to deny the motion, alter and amend conditions for DDRF. Counsel, what I'll do is, Ms. Ferguson, I need a phantom date for a setting of 60 days. We'll come back in 60 days to see where he is in the process. Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, 60 days, phantom date. All right, so we'll be back in July 10th. July 10th, it's not going to appear in the system because if we have it in the system and they're ready to transfer to DDRF, they won't, and you'll lose your place. Okay. So it's just a phantom date, but everybody here knows July 10th. Okay. All right, probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, thank you.
Clear, Judge, so that he's admonished here on the record. So today he will have to sign his new conditions agreeing to go to DDRF, and he'll be placed on the wait list as of today.
Yes.
No.
The wait list doesn't start today, Judge. You still have to go through an evaluation.
All right, so you still have to do a medical evaluation and everything of that nature, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Outcome snapshot. The judge denies the state's push to revoke now, modifies, clarifies conditions toward DDRF, and sets a 60-day phantom check-in, July 10th, so Jamal keeps his waitlist place. No instant revocation, but not a free pass either. Jamal must sign updated conditions, complete required medical clinical evaluations, and start the process the court laid out from day one. Legally, this is the rehabilitation lane staying open, but the warning is live. Another non-compliance moment could slam it shut. Big takeaway? Deferred is a privilege with strings. If the court flags mental health as a success factor, that condition isn't optional. It's the roadmap out. If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit like, drop your take in the comments, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. Share this with someone who thinks probation is just check-ins, because today proved it's a lot more than that.